Japanese 151, the most famous set of 2023, which skyrocketed to a price above $220 per booster box, has come crashing down this spring. Right now, it can be bought in the 50s and it's continually falling. The Pokemon Company has vowed to circumvent scalpers by printing sets like these to demand and making a boatload of money while doing it. In the process of reprinting loads and loads of this set and tanking the price in the process, has the Pokemon Company perhaps maybe overprinted this set? If you're looking for a clear-cut yes or no answer to this question, I don't have one for you. Instead, in this video, we'll be taking a look at some past reprints that were overprinted or printed to oblivion and see how they behaved in the market and see how they're doing today. Then we'll connect it back to the 151 set and try and see how the future might look for this box. First off, what even is overprinting and how do we quantify this term? Well, the way I would define it is when the Pokemon Company prints a box and they make so much supply of this product that its price just tanks. So like this would be Temporal Forces being valued at $70 or $65 a booster box, when similar other booster boxes like Paradox Rift, Twilight Masquerade, all kind of around the same time are worth $90 to $100 a booster box. Clearly, they overprinted the Temporal Forces set and the demand wasn't there. This is an example, this isn't actually what happened, but in this case, Temporal Forces would be overprinted. To quantify this, we can look at MSRP price, see how far below the MSRP price that the box actually is, and then we can also take a look at how long it stays below this MSRP price to determine how overprinted it is. Now let's get into the meat of this video. This reprint was pretty massive. Demand for 151 has been above that of pretty much any other set in the last 2 years. And they still managed to bring the box prices down 75% with this reprint. This is nothing to scoff at, and I don't think we'll reach the highs of 200 to 220 in the next 2 to 3 years, honestly. What other sets have seen reprint crashes similar to this? The first ones that come to mind are Roaring Skies and Primal Clash. These were XY era sets that came out in 2015. These were very well loved sets with awesome Mega Rayquaza cards and Primal Groudon and Kyogre cards as well. A year or two after release, when these sets were near out of rotation, the Pokemon Company dropped a huge reprint of them. Box prices were anywhere from $240 to $300 at the time. After the reprint hit, they crashed down to $70 a box. $70 a box is insane. This isn't just below MSRP, this is below the price that you'd get if you're buying things from distributors. LGSs and stores in general were losing tons of money on this reprint. It seemed like prices crashed, this was going to be it, there was no upside for these sets, they had completely ruined the market, but let's take a look at where they are now. Both of them have made their way north and they're sitting above $500. That's a pretty solid rebound, although it took 9 years to make it that far. However, considering that the lowest that these were at was like $65 to $70 a box, making it up to $550 is pretty insane. This set would absolutely fall into the category of being overprinted. They printed way past the demand that was there, and people weren't buying it, stores were all losing money, and yet, it all ended up fine in the end. These boxes now have value, and people love cracking them on live streams. I see them on TikTok, whatnot, whatever. People are always opening or doing like box breaks where you get a buy-in for a pack or two. Now, these sets don't hold the same value as other XY sets that weren't reprinted to this degree, but they still hold a good value. We'll take a look at one other example and then we'll circle back to 151. This is one of the most infamous crashes in Pokemon history. The set name, Crimson Invasion. Crimson Invasion was a Sun and Moon set mainly structured around Ultra Beasts, and they had the Silvally as the mascot of this set, you could say. And the main chase card was a Rainbow Gyarados. There was pretty much nothing unique about this set, and the Pokemon in it with the Ultra Beasts aren't generally well loved. So the chase cards were middling at best. The top one today is that Gyarados Rainbow card at $37. That is really, really cheap, especially when you compare it to other Sun and Moon chase cards. On top of this, the Pokemon Company printed this set for a while. They didn't stop the printers and realize that this set wasn't going to sell. They kept printing it. Demand was nowhere near the supply, and box prices crashed all the way down. Below Roaring Skies, below Primal Clash, these were in the range of $55 to $60 per booster box. This is well below $2 a booster pack. I would be willing to bet that some LGSs or just store owners in general went out of business because of this set. especially with the slim margins in the Pokemon hobby. The price for Crimson Invasion was pretty much half of what MSRP is, which if you translate that into Japanese Pokemon today, which is $40 a box, that would be around $20 per booster box. That's $1 per pack of a Japanese set. Anyways, the set does terrible on release, no one really wants it, and on top of that, it isn't collectible, and people don't come back to it either. Today, 7 years after release, the box price is $200. That's cheaper than most of the Sword and Shield Alt-Art boxes, and it's way cheaper than any other Sun and Moon set. Okay, I've shown you 2 examples of overprinted sets and what happened to them, but where does 151 stack up? Well, Crimson Invasion was held down by poor cards with just nothing unique about them, and on top of that, the Pokemon not being that great. The public perception was terrible, and it just ended up being a complete mess. Japanese 151 doesn't really have that problem. All of the Pokemon in the set are well loved. It's the original 151, we all know this. These are the most well loved Pokemon that there are, so I think it kind of escapes the comparison to Crimson Invasion. Now, if we compare it to Roaring Skies and Primal Clash, I think this is a much more fair comparison. The Pokemon in these sets are really well loved, and they're going to keep people coming back for generations. Both of these sets captured nostalgic collectors and the younger generation, which is so important for an investable set. The main difference I see between these sets though is the language. This set being reprinted heavily in Japanese may play out differently than how an English booster box would be playing out. Other factors like the strength of the yen compared to the US dollar, as well as the public perception of Japanese cards and the love for Japanese cards, also can play a role in how well this set does in the future. If people in other countries no longer desire Japanese cards and instead opt for cards that they can read the language and read the words on, this will hinder the growth of this set. Now, on the other hand, if the Japanese economy turns around and starts doing really well, this will make this set do wonders all over the world. However, the one ace in the sleeve that 151 Japanese has is a unique collectible tiered rarity. And I'm not just talking about chase cards, I'm talking about every single card. We have never seen this kind of tiered rarity with the Pokeball and Master Ball holos of every single base card in the set. This tiered system for not just the chase cards but every other card makes it so much more openable and drives so many more people to collect and open the product. I think that this set will do extremely well in the future, and I know I'm not the first person to say that. And when we look at other sets like Chilling Reign, Roaring Skies, Primal Clash that were printed and had really cheap booster boxes, all of them are doing amazing now. I don't see a reason that 151 Japanese won't follow suit. So in short, has the Pokemon Company overprinted 151? Well, I don't think it matters. Has the supply outweighed the demand right now? Yes. Are prices dropping? Yes. But if a set is well loved, has unique cards, and is incredibly collectible, eventually the public will eat through however much they print. We've seen this happen over and over again. The only sets that it really is a detriment to are the ones that aren't loved, like Crimson Invasion. 151 Japanese will do just fine. My name is Jack, this is a JBTCG production. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there.